Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. Right now, the Houston Rockets are taking things one step at a time. The Houston Rockets defeated the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday to get their first win of the season the other night, 128 to 119. And when I say the Rockets had a great team performance, they had a great team performance. You obviously had players that were having great games. Brooks had 20, Jalen had 23, I believe Van Vliet had 22. I'm pretty sure both Sengun and Jabari had 17. So you had guys who were having all-around great performances. Jeff Green nearly had double figures off the bench with 9 points. And when I say this team was playing really good as a unit, because they were 35 assists, 21 three-pointers. They were outperforming the Hornets in every category. The Hornets had 21 assists. The Rockets had 35. The Hornets shot 40% from three, which is above average. The Rockets shot 56.8% from three. The Rockets played a great game on Wednesday, and this is not the first great performance they've had. The Houston Rockets have actually been improving game by game. First game, the Rockets got outplayed by the Magic, but they still showed some really good things against the Orlando Magic, and they were without Tari Eason, and they've been without Tari Eason. I think that's another thing that people forget to mention when talking about the way the Houston Rockets have been playing, that they've been without Tari Eason, a rookie from last year who averaged 10 and 6, was one of the best rebounders on the Rockets last year, a good three-point shooter, a great defender, one of the best, probably the second best, or no, Dillon Brooks is probably the best defender, probably a top 3 defender on this team, probably the second or third best defender on this team, Tari Eason, and was the best defender on the Rockets last year. They're missing him right now. And the Rockets have not been the greatest at rebounding so far this season, and they're missing him defensively, offensively, and rebounding. But they still showed some decent things in the first game against the Magic. Then you can say this anything you want about the Spurs, but the Rockets competed against the San Antonio Spurs and played a hell of a game against San Antonio and should have won. That was a winnable game for the Rockets. They were up 111 to 109. Jabari Smith Jr. had two chances to give the Rockets a win with 2 free throws, up by 2 points. Could have made one, forced the Spurs into taking a three-pointer, or could have made 2 and ended the game for the Rockets to win it and get their first win of the season instead of having to wait another 4 or 5 days for the Rockets to get their first win of the year. But the Houston Rockets end up losing that game in overtime. And at first I was thinking, we just lost the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs are terrible. But now this week on Tuesday and Thursday, I witnessed what the San Antonio Spurs just did to Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. I'm like, hey, the San Antonio Spurs aren't half bad. So it makes me feel a little bit better about that loss we took to the Spurs last Friday. Then Sunday against the Warriors, you played a great game against the Warriors. You competed. Even though you had your best players struggling, Fred VanVleet struggled 2 for 13, Brooks only 12 points, and he's been great throughout the season for the Rockets. Let's just go over for all you Dillon Brooks haters, let's just go over Dillon Brooks' stats so far through the first 4 games. 16 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, 2 steals per game. Just had a career high in steals with 5 steals for the Houston Rockets. And is shooting 63% from 3 for the Rockets with 59% from the field goal range. So bad game from Dillon Brooks, bad game from Fred VanVleet, not the best game from Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green. And the Houston Rockets find a way from being down 16 points to come back and take the lead and win by and take the lead and be winning by 2 points in the fourth quarter. Just want to go over a stat real quick. The Rockets in the fourth quarter against the Golden State Warriors last Sunday were down in the game 81-75 to start the fourth quarter. Then with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the Houston Rockets were winning 87-85. So in a stretch of 6 minutes, the Warriors only scored 4 points. The Rockets ultimately lost that game by 10 points because of Stephen Curry, because when Stephen Curry plays the way he did, if you watch some of the threes he was hitting against the Houston Rockets on Sunday, Stephen Curry caught fire. He only had 3 points in the first half, had 24 to finish the game, and most of that came in the fourth quarter. The Houston Rockets lost because of Stephen Curry. And then I already talked about what happened Wednesday. The Houston Rockets had a great performance. And now call me crazy, but I think the Houston Rockets win their next 2 games. They play the Sacramento Kings. I'm not disrespecting the Kings because the Kings are a great team, but I just don't know how I trust the Sacramento Kings without De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox has an ankle injury. He's going to miss tomorrow's game against the Houston Rockets, and he's going to be doubtful for Monday's game against the Houston Rockets. These being home games for the Rockets, if they can play the team basketball they played against the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday, they're going to win these 2 games. They can shoot the ball the way they did against the Hornets, against the Kings, and they can play the way they did defensively. And there is a solid chance the Rockets can get Tari Eason back on Monday against the Kings. I'm feeling confident against the Sacramento Kings. I'm not guaranteeing the Rockets win both of those games, but I am guaranteeing the Rockets get 1 win against the Kings with them being without De'Aaron Fox. Right now the Rockets are taking one step at a time, but I think this team is playing really good basketball right now, and I think right now they're playing this season as 1 game at a time. We go from this game to that game, and we try to improve every game. And there was a huge jump from what I saw on Wednesday compared to the previous game on Monday. And they had a really solid game against the Golden State Warriors. And I keep seeing improvements from this team every game, and I'm really excited. Use them your thoughts, and peace out. Go Rockets.